Hello, people of YouTube. It's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news for the 8th of June, 2024. Thank you all very much for watching my little Kiowa Warrior first look video. I hope that you enjoyed that. That's a brand new module that only landed on, what was it? Was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday now. A lot of fun to fly. Had a really, really good time filming that. Welcome to the stream, Tog. Welcome to the ground crew, Osprey. Yogi, welcome to the stream. It would be interesting to debate the current situation between ED and Razbam. It raises a lot of concerns, and even content creators such as Casmo and Spudknocker are stopping the F-15 tutorials. Yes, we're going to touch on that just a little bit later. Yeah, Tog talking about the Casmo Kiowa videos. There have been so many. They're super, super useful. A really, really good way to learn the aircraft, I would say. Stuart McLean, welcome to the stream. Orleans Junkie. Pablo, welcome. Only Napalm. Hoverstop. The one and only Hoverstop. Welcome to the stream. How very exciting, sir. Colin Kelly, James Fenton, Pink Floyd, welcome, welcome. James Fenton came here to get my nerves calmed from the RB situation. There's no reason to be stressed. It's all just a game. Anyway, Robbie Hobby, welcome. Tea Kettle Barbecue, Mr. Yeti. Colin Kelly, thank you very much for the donation. That's really, very kind of you. Tier Zero, welcome to the stream. JP Gibbons, Patrick Sandquist, Charts, Nico. If we were run over by Kiowa, I guess we are now all poly-chopped. Oh, that's a good one. Well done. Sean Haynes, welcome. Colo97. Yogi, thank you very much for the donation. That's very, very kind. Seanam81, welcome. Von Hoffnung, thank you very, very much for the donation. That's very kind. I now want Polychop Echo 19 to give us an AH1 Cobra. That would be extremely cool. Alberto, with the Razbam drama, I'm glad that I didn't buy an early access. Well, yeah, this is definitely an argument for not buying early access modules, I guess. Interesting story. Welcome to the stream. Interesting story being notable that he didn't have to buy his Strike Eagle. Oh, fantastic. Yogi, any news on the Typhoon? No, absolutely no updates as yet. Heatblur, of course, have only just released the F4 a couple of weeks ago, so I can imagine that there's a lot of post-release work going into that just now. So I would imagine we'll get some news from them soon. Yes, perhaps soon. Interesting story. Glad there's good Kiowa videos. I imagine the Phantom release will delay any Chuck's guide. Quite possibly. And actually, I'm looking to do some F4 videos myself as well. MTG, welcome, welcome. So, welcome everybody to the stream. There's not a huge amount of news this week. However, we do have a topic to discuss after the newsletter in any case. We're of course going to have a quick chat about the ED and Razbam situation. Really, there's no update, but I feel like the community is reaching a kind of crescendo with regards to their response to it. So we'll all have a little bit of a chat. And of course, yesterday I made my post where I said that I was effectively pulling my F-15 Strike Eagle videos for now. And my reasoning behind that simply is that I would feel bad, to be honest, if somebody watched one of those videos, thought, ooh, this F-15 seems really, really cool, went ahead and bought it, not realizing the situation, and in like 2 months' time or whatever, found it completely broken because of a DCS update and a lack of corresponding updates from Razbam. So that is basically my entire reasoning behind pulling it. When some other content creators pulled their videos, I thought, nah, it's not that big a deal, it's not that important. But the more I talked to people in the community and the more I thought about it myself, the more I just came to the conclusion that I would feel bad, really, if someone was influenced by me to purchase it. Oh, fantastic. Orleans Junkie. You got yours cheap when they had the sale mistake. Fantastic. Plucky Underdog, evening. Pleased you're enjoying both the Phantom and Kiowa. They're both fantastic modules. Strong agree. Very, very good modules. Chandler Hedgevald, welcome. What do I think of the Kiowa? Well, I do have the first look video that I just released there. I think a good A good summary would be that I think it's a massively solid release. Like, I didn't see anything that was a bug, like at all, actually. And I really saw very few things that you could even consider like missing functionality. There's so much in it. I need to dive into the manual a bit more. But it even has a somewhat working DTC. I forget whether it's like a Lua file or a JSON file, but you can basically you can construct a text file and you can have multiple of them, and in the game you can choose them and load them into the aircraft using the controls on the pilot's display. So it's like pretty amazing. Actually, they've done a really good job here. So yeah, short version. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. The level of polish is fantastic. You know, it apparently was ready for release months ago, but I guess for scheduling reasons, you know, with the F4 and Afghanistan and Chinook all coming out around about the same time, ED put them into the holding pattern, as it were, and you know, whatever status it was at when Polychop thought it was ready, it can only be better now. And I think the state is just absolutely fantastic. Like, this is one of the best releases. This is right up there with Heat Blur releases, actually. And I would say that even if you compare it to the F4, Heat Blur's F4, which is an amazing module, and Heat Blur are an amazing module maker, the Kiowa actually has it beat on completeness, because the F4 is not complete, and it's not intended to be. It's, you know, it's an early access release. The Kiowa is not early access. This is a complete release, and yeah, like I feel like I'm sort of emphasizing this, but the main thing for me is the completeness. It is so complete. It's so perfect. So hats off. And of course, this announcement yesterday from Echo 19 that they're going to rework all the sounds, because that's probably the one thing that some people could and would complain about very slightly, is that the Kiowa's sounds are fine. Like, there's no problem with the sounds, and I imagine that most of them as of just now are still considered placeholder. But can you imagine how good it's going to be once Echo 19 have given it the once over? This is a goodie. This is a goodie. Hats off to Polychop. You know, they came back and they fixed the Gazelle. They gave us a great flight model and fantastic updates for the Gazelle, and now they give us this. These guys are really shaping up to be a great module maker. Mr. Yeti. So that was a very long answer for Chandra Edgewald and the rest of you there. Mr. Yeti, my frustration is that the Harrier and M2000 are two of the modules I know best and fly a lot. Man, just... I'm depressed even thinking about it, because the Harrier is what I fly like 80% of the time. And, you know, courtesy of the very, very fantastic... the very, very fantastic hover stop. Sorry, I keep thinking of you as Engines because that's your Discord username. You know, Hoverstop is coming out with this absolutely fantastic Harrier throttle, which I'm really, really excited for. And now maybe the module will stop working at some stage, but you know, that's just sometimes the way things are. But very much looking forward to that. Plucky Underdog, and I agree with your removal of the Eagle videos. However, talk of its demise is very premature. We just need to be patient. You may well be right. I'm going to talk about it a bit later, but you know, there are different ways you can look at this, and of course, none of us really knows what's going on or has a complete picture. But I'll share with you all a bit later my thoughts on the subject anyway. Yeah. Yep, Alberto, Harrier is one of my fave aircraft. I hope it doesn't break. Yogi, you'll probably need to do the same for the Harrier Mirage 2000, unfortunately. Here's hoping not. Here's hoping not. MTG, smooth is what first comes to mind flying it. Yep, strong agree. Patrick Sandquist, the only thing I dislike with the Kiowa is the sound of the 50 cal. Yeah, that's probably one of the weaker sounds, to be fair. Yeah, that's one of the weaker ones. It said, Peter, welcome from Canada, living the F4 and respect to Heat Blur. Hope Razbam figures things out. Yes, I agree. Tog, I was going to say that 50 cal was underwhelming. The thing is, I think I've heard videos, IRL videos of them firing the gun, and I think that's kind of what it sounds like. You know, keep in mind that it's hanging out there in the wind, you're inside a cabin, you know, it's not necessarily going to be like an earth-shattering sound. I think the sound is probably fairly authentic, actually. Interesting story. Kiowa needs the Arcav livery. Oh, yes. Colo97, I can't imagine if Harrier will be break in next patches. Yeah, that would be very sad. Mounted Man Simulations, Kiowa is a triumph for a small developer. I very much agree. It's fantastic. Robbie Hobby, Kiowa only 200 megabytes in size, smaller than free mods like UH60 and OH6. Keep in mind that, well, number one, size on disk is not an indication of quality, number one. And number two, the associated patch that came with the Kiowa was many gigabytes in size. And you will find that, of course, things like the external model and the SFM used by the AI and lots of other bits and bobs will have been in the patch, not in the module themselves. So that 200, I think it's 200 megabytes download, but it actually decompresses to more than the gigabyte. And then keep in mind that there's at least a couple more gigabytes of it in the patch, not in the module itself. So, yeah. Again, not an indication of quality. You know, I can fill a file. I can fill a file with a bunch of data, and it doesn't change the quality of the module. Hoverstop, engines is fine. PC's Gazelle FM seems to be excellent to me. I have about 40 hours in a French Fenestron helicopter, and it feels pretty realistic. That's good to know. I've never flown a real helicopter. My experience is all in little prop planes, but it feels great to me. And the great, the really cool thing is I flew the Kiowa and then I immediately flew the current state of the Gazelle. And they both feel completely different. So you can see, they're not just copying their own homework and copy pasting between the flight models. These two helicopters do not behave at all the same. The Gazelle, you immediately feel how light it is, but then at the same time how very, very maneuverable it is. And of course, it's very fast. So yeah, big difference. MTG, a lot of people fly with the helmet sounds, so hopefully that's the reason for the quietness. Yeah, there's that too, of course. Nico, it's not the size of the file, it's how you use it. Agree. Yes, I agree. Yes. Anyway, moving on. We've spent a lot of time just having a chat, which is splendid. I like that. Chat should continue to interact during the course of the stream because it's you guys that make the stream good. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. It's a really big help to me and to the channel. But let's dive into the first bit of news that we have for this week, which of course is the newsletter from Eagle Dynamics. Dear fighter pilots, partners, and friends, we are delighted to announce the highly anticipated release of the DCS OH-58D Kiowa Warrior by Polychop Simulations for DCS. This iconic helicopter guarantees an exceptional and highly accurate experience for both veteran and novice pilots. The OH-58D Kiowa Warrior is a versatile armed reconnaissance helicopter that has served in various military conflicts around the globe. Known for its agility, advanced surveillance capabilities, and firepower, the OH-58D has been a vital asset in recon and light attack missions. Watch the trailer. I completely forgot about the trailer. Let's do that while we continue to monitor chat. The trailer's really, really good. Tier 0, Casmo said in a community post that the 50 cal does sound like that. Yeah, I had a funny feeling that would be the case. I understand people wanting more, though. Sims sometimes do need more aggressive sounds to make up for the lack of other feedback. Yeah. Like I said, I've heard videos of the Kiowa in real life, and that's what the gun sounded like to me. Now, of course, what it sounds like in a recording and what it sounds like for real are two different things, but I think it's probably quite accurate. Yeah, of course, Casmo would know because he flew the damn thing. So he's very well aware of what it sounds like. Nice. Yeah, the external model in this also is just really nicely detailed. Really, really nice. And I was very happy about the inclusion of L2 mums. I didn't demonstrate it in the video, but I played around with it a bit the other day. And being able to pull up the video feed from other Kiowas and from Reaper drones is a lot of fun. Hopefully they expand that at some point in the future and allow it to work with other types of terminal. That'd be nice. Alberto, Kiowa has chaff. The default loadout is 30 flares in the bucket, but you can swap out some or all of those cartridges for chaff. So you could do a mixed. Tog, weren't you flying without the doors? Yes, I was flying without the doors. Apparently, in the real world, they generally flew without the doors unless it was cold weather. And I was in Cyprus, so I imagined that in Cyprus they would have the doors off. Oof, that's a lot of T-72s going boom. You're going to want the Hellfires for doing that, or maybe you could just about manage it with the APKWS, but they're not good against heavy armor. Whereas the Hellfire, of course, is. Oh, there's the Islid, of course. I haven't tried the Islid yet. I haven't tried flying it at night yet. That's probably a lot of fun. Oh, and of course, stingers. Although shooting down a flanker with stingers seems a little bit unlikely, but hey, you never know. Beautiful. Beautiful. And big shout out to John Bloor. He's apparently been doing a lot of the art stuff for Polychop, and I know that he watches these streams. To be honest, to me, says Tier Zero, most of the modern jets sound quiet after I've spent my first hour listening to the rackets the Harrier makes. The Harrier is, uniquely loud, and that's both in the sim and in the real world. Join our community of aviation enthusiasts and pilots. Share your experiences, ask questions, and participate in discussions about the OH-58D on our official forums and on social media channels. Your feedback is invaluable to us, and we look forward to the amazing content you create with this new module. Well, thank you. No one ever called my content amazing before. Thank you, ED. Anyway, OH-58D Kiowa Warrior now available and as mission ready. I would have said and mission ready. Experience the ultimate in rotary wing aviation with the OH-58D Kiowa Warrior for DCS. This meticulously crafted simulation brings the legendary reconnaissance and light attack helicopter to life with unparalleled accuracy and detail. Fly low through challenging terrains, utilizing the Kiowa Warrior's advanced sensor suites and weaponry to dominate the battlefield. With its authentic flight dynamics, interactive cockpit, and realistic mission scenarios, the OH-58D Kiowa Warrior offers a deeply immersive experience for both seasoned pilots and newcomers alike. Whether you're conducting reconnaissance missions or providing aerial support to ground units, the Kiowa Warrior delivers a truly thrilling tactical combat experience. Step into the cockpit of the OH-58D Kiowa Warrior alone or in multi-crew with a friend to share the adventure. The module features a highly detailed 3D model, complete with fully configured avionics, MFDs, and working mast-mounted sight. Utilize the Level 2 manned-unmanned system to view aerial drone footage, or scan the battlefield using the sensors of another Kiowa. Share targets with the improved data modem, or call in remote Hellfire missions with other Kiowa pilots to coordinate attacks. With a wide range of weaponry available, including AGM-114K Hellfires, FIM-92 air-to-air Stinger missiles, and laser-guided rockets, otherwise known as the Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System, the Kiowa Warrior is prepared for any engagement. Let's check out chat here. Alberto, I think 2 Hellfires and APKWS is the best weapons combo for the Kiowa. That's certainly giving you a lot of guided ordnance, yes. Tog, not to judge as I'm not a DCS pilot, but I mean ... Okay. The OH-58D first flew in 1983 and was the result of the Army Helicopter Improvement Program as a single-engine, 4-bladed, lightweight helicopter. The Kiowa Warrior introduced the distinctive mast-mounted sight above the main rotor and a mixed glass cockpit with traditional instruments, and as such was the first helicopter equipped with MFDs. While the OH-58D Kiowa Warrior thrives in its reconnaissance role, making full use of its MMS and the Level 2 manned-unmanned system, in more recent conflicts, it played a pivotal role not only in gathering critical intelligence, but also in actively supporting ground troops through precision strikes on enemy positions, illustrating its adaptability and effectiveness in both reconnaissance and offensive missions. Armed with a vast array of weapons, including Hellfires, 50 cal, air-to-air Stingers, and a large selection of rocket types, including the laser-guided Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System, the OH-58D Kiowa Warrior is capable of fulfilling a meaningful role by itself or by supporting other assets in DCS. Tier 0, or an option to remove the silencer. Okay, very good. Kiowa Warriors serving the US Army took part in a number of operations, including Operation Prime Chance, Operation Just Cause, Desert Storm, Raid 1989, Peace Implementation Forces, Operation Enduring Freedom, and Operation Iraqi Freedom. The US Army retired the OH-58D Kiowa Warrior in 2017, having accumulated over 800,000 combat hours. It continues to serve with the armed forces of Croatia, Greece, Taiwan, and Tunisia to this day. So, what features are we getting at launch? Realistic handcrafted flight model with high precision characteristics of this light helicopter in all ranges of altitude, temperatures, and speeds for different weights, flight configurations, and conditions. Highly detailed, fully clickable glass cockpit with full VR support. It can be flown as a single player or in multi-crew with a friend, or with someone you don't like. Voiced pilot AI assistant. Fully modelled armament and weapon systems, including the M3P machine gun, 2.75-inch rockets, AGM-114K Hellfire, anti-tank guided missile, with 4 firing modes, the APKWS laser-guided rockets, the FIM-92 air-to-air Stinger system, handheld M4 rifles, yes, which is good fun. Detailed modelling of the entire electrical, fuel, hydraulic, pneumatic, SCAS, and radio systems. Full range of sensors and aircraft survivability systems, including the mast-mounted sight with TV and FLIR cameras, laser rangefinder and designator system, the AN-APR-39 radar detector, the AN-ALQ-144 IR jammer, the AN-AVR-2 laser detector, the AN-AAR-57 common missile warning system, as well as a flash and flare and chaff dispenser. Oh dear, I can't even speak anymore. Mountain Man simulations. Casmo's videos on the Kiowa are fantastic. And another bonus of the release. Yeah, strongly agree. I've been following those, and actually some of the systems that I've learned have been from his videos or from the manual. Alberto, how do you control the M4 with the mouse? If you're the left seater, you just click on the M4 and he picks it up and puts it in his hands, and you then simply move the mouse and left click to fire it. You can't easily aim down the sights unless you're using head tracking or VR. You forgot Spookies with tactical beards. Nico, among us DCS multi-crew edition, though, since there are in these planes just 2 crew, it'd be rather obvious. Mm-hmm. Oh, I get what you're saying now. Okay, among us, yes. Okay, more features. Rotorcraft map system with moving map, digital elevation map, real-time display of navigation and target data. Improved data modem that allows for Kiowa to Kiowa text messaging, target sharing, and remote Hellfire missions. Level 2 manned-unmanned system with its capability to display the video feed from a drone, sensor, or the camera feed of another player OH-58D Kiowa Warrior aircraft. Full night vision support with the helmet-mounted optical display assembly and the gun-mounted ISLID laser pointer. Data cartridge for storing and loading mission data in web-compatible format. Advanced damage model and failures for the aircraft system and components. Optional pilot display unit heads-up display, and among 60 liveries, including US Army, Croatian, Greek, Taiwanese, Tunisian units, as well as a number of fictional liveries from around the world. The DCS OH-58D Kiowa Warrior is now available for you to download. Enjoy. Thank you again for your passion and support. So yeah, we had one item in the newsletter today, but it was a biggie. It was a biggie. Kiowa looking very, very nice indeed. And if you jump into the store just now, it's being sold for $69.99 US dollars. So Poppet 55 trying to figure out how to get this and hide my DCS addiction from the missus. Yeah. Alberto, heads-up display. Yes. The helicopter can be fitted with a heads-up display. Apparently in the real world that wasn't commonly done. But yes, the pilot has just on the right-hand side, you can have a heads-up display glass that's hanging from the ceiling. Alternatively, if you're doing flights with night vision goggles, because of course with the night vision goggles on, you can't read the MFDs. You could, of course, peek under a little bit, but that might not be great. The aircraft also has this thing called what is it called again? The Optical Display Assembly, the ODA. So the ODA is a monocle that can be attached over the top of the night vision goggles, and it provides you with the same kind of information you get on a heads-up display. So it means that you can retain access to all the most important pilot instruments while flying with the night vision goggles on and without having to peek under. And then, of course, in daytime, you have the option of the PDU, which is the heads-up display. I don't think the heads-up display works with the night vision goggles. Patrick Strandquist, I am really looking forward to the Chinook. I hope it will bring some logistic functions to DCS. DCS already has some logistics functionalities built in, but they're mostly in kind of the mission editor and similar. So unless you design your missions with it in mind, then it's not really very apparent. And of course, you can plug into that logistics system with Moose, which is a really great suite of scripts. So you can create very interesting logistics missions. Cool, so that's basically everything for the Kiowa. Very, very cool helicopter. It gets my big thumbs up of approval. On to the other story of the week, and it's not really so much of a story as an ongoing saga, but I take this article here from stormbirds.blog as our kind of anchor point here. Concerns rise again over Razbam modules in DCS. We, of course, most recently have had Casmo and Spudknocker pull their F-15E Strike Eagle videos, stating concerns about misleading people about the state of the module and its future. I just last night did the same thing. They, not necessarily following Casmo and Spudknocker. They definitely gave me food for thought, and I listened to their arguments. But it was more after kind of chewing it over myself and then talking to the community. I realized that I personally would feel bad if someone watched one of my videos on the Strike Eagle, was super excited about it, and then purchased the module, not knowing what the situation was. Pink Floyd, did we lose sync or is it the universe again? Sometimes YouTube does go out of sync, so apologies if it's doing something weird right now. It generally does resynchronize after a period of time. Only Napalm, if they could give the F-15E to Heatblur to finish it, Jester 2 would sit in the back seat. Well, I'm sure Heatblur have more than enough to do themselves. Also, this is, after all, Razbam's IP. They own it, so there's no reason why they should have to give it away to anyone. Unless, of course, they're deciding to abandon it, which I don't think they are. The most recent statement from Ron Zambrano on the Razbam Discord was, and actually let me read it to you right now, just so that I don't misrepresent what it was that he said. Let's have a little look here. If I jump on the Razbam one, yeah. So this was as of the 7th of April. This was now. Yeah, American dates. I was struggling to read it. So, the words of Ron Zambrano. Dear customers and community, Razbam Simulations is actively working with Eagle Dynamics to reach an agreement to resolve our internal dispute, and we don't want the discussion that our public declaration has generated to escalate any further. Well, to be fair, Ron did kind of start that public discussion, but anyway. We want to assure you that it has never been, nor will it be, our intention to abandon our products. We look forward to a prompt and satisfactory resolution, turn the page, and move forwards. So this is the most recent and actually only communication from Razbam on this subject. And that was a good 2 months ago now. And we've heard absolutely nothing since. And of course, in the meantime, none of the Eagle Dynamics patches have included any updates, improvements, added features, any changes of any kind to any Razbam modules, if you exclude the South Atlantic map, which is a different team as I understand it. So these modules are now stagnating, you could say. Well, not so much in the case of the Mirage and the Harrier, because I consider them pretty complete, but the Strike Eagle very much so. And it's already, we know how DCS development is. The core DCS sim is continuously changing, and it's often the case that third-party modules get broken by changes that Eagle Dynamics make, and they then have to make bug fixes and then release patches. And of course, as of right now, Razbam has chosen not to do this, and in the case of the Strike Eagle, might even be approaching a state where they're unable to, because of course, at least two of the main developers who were involved in making the Strike Eagle have subsequently left Razbam. Now, who knows, maybe if Razbam got paid, those developers would return, but certainly at the present time, I don't see that Razbam would be able to continue development of the Strike Eagle, even if they wanted to. Now, let me make it very, very clear. This is my impression. I have nothing to back up this statement, but I feel like they're probably approaching a position where it'd be hard for them to continue development of the Strike Eagle. So, what is chat saying? Hover stop. Can we crowdsource and buy out the Harrier IP? Oh, you're speaking to my soul right now. Yes, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Well, number one, in the event that Razbam are indeed abandoning it, and of course their public statement has been to the contrary. They have said that they are absolutely not abandoning the Harrier and their other modules. But of course, this situation is starting to drag on a little bit, and it does concern us all. But yes, if it were the case that Razbam couldn't or wouldn't continue development of the Harrier, I would love to see somebody else take it over. I think that's extremely unlikely. I don't see that Razbam are ever going to release the source code, so it would probably be the case that somebody else would have to develop an all-new Harrier, which is sad. Yogi, why is ED still selling Razbam modules? This is wrong as long as the dispute continues. That's a very, very good question. It's a very good question, but at the same time, I don't know what the right answer is, because, of course, if they stop selling the modules, they basically immediately kill Razbam. The threat of stopping sales of the modules and stopping all potential further income for Razbam of any kind from DCS, that's pretty much a zero-sum game for everybody involved. That's not good. So I guess ED are continuing to sell the modules, A, because they like money, and B, because to not sell those modules would bring this whole situation to a rather quick and abrupt close. Alberto, they should stop selling the F-15 in the store. I totally understand this point of view, but I suspect they're not going to do that because, yeah, it really would. It would destroy the entire brand of Razbam if they did that. Tier 0, giving some KSP devs, we're still hard at work on the KSP2 vibes. Yeah, that's a bit scary. Tog, different contracts for different modules? Perhaps. Jason, personally, this whole issue has made me rethink buying third-party modules. This is another really good point. It hasn't for me because, honestly, this was always a risk, and I'd already been through the what were they called again? VEAO Hawk saga. Like, we've already been here. This exact thing, or, well, okay, not this exact thing, but something similar to this has already happened in the form of the Hawk. It already blew up in everybody's faces. And ED then had to basically continue to provide a frozen version of DCS that was compatible with the last ever version of the Hawk, so that people who still wanted to fly that aircraft could create a special installation of DCS on which it would still work. We're running the risk of creating the exact same situation here for the F-15, the Harrier, the Mirage. It's not great. Honestly, it doesn't shake my confidence in buying from third-party module makers at all, because this was always in my mind that this was a possibility. But it does worry me. It doesn't make either ED or Razbam look good. I'm not interested in the old blame game. I know we all like a bit of blame and we all like to be angry at somebody, but I don't think it's really helpful. I don't think there's any point in blaming ED or Razbam, because this makes the entire ecosystem look bad. This makes DCS as a whole and all module makers look bad, and it shakes everybody's confidence in the sim. Because, of course, we all invest huge amounts of time and money, whether it be the modules themselves or our computers or our hardware, in playing these simulations. And, if there is the suggestion that these modules could disappear at any moment, that, of course, is, it doesn't encourage us to invest. Tier 0, they've only missed one patch so far, haven't they? No, it's more like 2, maybe even 3 at this stage. That there hasn't been an update. Actually, let's prove or disprove what I'm saying. Let's go back to the change logs and see exactly what the case is. So you had the Kiowa Warrior. There was no Razbam module update there. We had the F4 launch. No Razbam module updates there, so that's 2 already. The one prior to that, Cola Map, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 updates. Yeah, in the last 6 updates, there have been no changes to any of the Razbam modules. So it's actually 6 updates that they've missed. Tog, imagine the same issues arise with other flight sims. Yeah. Pink Floyd, I think ED is giving refunds to some people for the Strike Eagle. Need to check the forums to be sure. Their official policy is that there are no refunds. And in fact, that EULA that you agree to when you purchase a module specifically says, because this is a download product, you cannot have a refund. However, I know that in some cases they're giving people store credit. They're not giving anybody money. Nobody is getting their money back. But some people have had store credit. Yeah, Orleans Junkie, you were there for the Hawk. Yeah, it's sad. I actually really liked the Hawk. I thought the Hawk was good. But yeah, dead. Yeah, Tier 0, store refunds. Yeah. Mr. Yeti. No updates from oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. Mr. Yeti saying exactly the same thing I'm saying. Yeah. Colo97, it's not a real refund if you receive points from ED and not money back. Patrick Strandquist, the blame is with ED, since it is them who sold the module. I think that's a little bit too cut and dry, to be honest. And well, number one, none of us really know exactly what's going on here, but the claim from ED is that Razbam broke their contract and even tried to steal or resell IP that belongs to Eagle Dynamics. Who knows if any of that is true, but that's certainly what their public statement was. If that is the case, then I would say both sides are, yeah, both sides are at fault here. And the main thing is they just need to sort it. Like, it doesn't even matter. The details don't matter at this stage, as far as I'm concerned. Whatever is going on, they need to fix it, because the longer this goes on, the more damage it does. Only Napalm. After Razbam episode, ED only concentrate on the Gold War era. Oh, Cold War era. They're so much fun to fly. So I've heard people saying this. I've heard people saying that Cold War is where it's at. Personally, I like the modern stuff. I like the Harrier, the F-16, the F-18, the Kiowa Warrior, the Gazelle, the JF-17. I like all these aircraft. Orleans Junkie, sorry, but there were other things that made investing more questionable. Okay, feel free to enlighten us. I'm sure you're right. Seanam81, one of the patches broke the Mirage 2000. It took a dev that left RB to fix it. Oh, so there is actually a fix for that now. That would be fantastic if that's the case. Andre, looks like a lot of work. Stuart McLean, this is minor. I'm a Star Citizen backer. Oof. Okay. Ah, man. Okay, you've been through the wars then. You've had a hard time. Only Napalm. Last time someone updated South Atlantic map, trees or something. Patrick Strandfist, I can understand why ED does not inform their customers. Yeah, that's the other thing, of course. All of this should have been done in private. Whatever was going on should have been done in private. Perhaps you could say that Razbam made it public because they were approaching hitting the wall and they hadn't been paying their devs, and that makes sense. But if at all possible, this should have all been done in private. Alberto, can ED get the source code and continue development themselves? Well, that's supposed to be what the new contracts state. However, I don't know if their new contract... we don't know what the agreement was between Razbam and ED. I know that new module makers have to sign a contract saying that they'll hand over source code in the event of them not being able to continue development, but we don't know if Razbam ever agreed to that contract, so it might be that they're not held to that. And even if they did, it would maybe take a court order for before they would actually hand over the source code. And in what state would it be? Who knows? Maybe it would be useless to ED anyway. Patrick Stunquist, I really hope this will be fixed. Strongly agree. So much new fun things coming to DCS. I strongly agree. Yeah. I really do hope it's resolved, and I hope it's resolved to both parties' satisfaction. I hope Razbam get their money. I hope they're able to re-employ their devs. I hope that they're able to continue developing all the wonderful modules. Because let's be real here. Razbam's a really good module developer. They've created some fantastic modules, and I want to see them continue to do their work. And ED, of course, ED have made DCS, the core sim that we all enjoy, sometimes, through the bugs and problems, but, DCS is unique. It is without competition at the current time. There is nothing else. There is no other combat sim of this level of quality. Yeah, so I hope they both sort it out. Pink Floyd, the ED4 mods are leaving a thread open about this issue, yes, and they're even interacting in it. I've been monitoring that myself. That's where I noticed the statement from 9line about the refunds. Overstop, give us an FRS 1. Actually, I would really like a 2 plus. I would be all over a 2 plus or a GR7 or a GR9. Maybe I'm weird. I'm not that into the Sea Harriers because, of course, they're Harrier 1 airframes, which then, of course, means they're faster. But, I don't know. I like the Harrier too. I do like the more modern airframes. Of course, they're slower, they're heavier, they're less maneuverable, but I like the tech in the Harrier 2s. Cold War Harrier for the win. Tog, at least you didn't back KSP 2. Yes. Andre, show us some gameplay. Some gameplay of what, Deepak? Andre, what is it you're looking for? Stiggy Wiggy, sad when it's happening to the Harrier. Yeah. Sean M81, the ED and RB thing is going to take forever. Yeah. If it goes to core, obviously it could take years. It could take years. Isn't DCS older than SE? Yes, it is, considerably. Sam Stott, sorry, I'm new to DCS and don't really know what modules Razbam made. Are we at a point where we should be steering clear of some modules? Razbam, they made a MiG, and I can't remember which one. I think it was maybe the MiG-19. They also made the Mirage 2000C, a wonderful module. I did a full tutorial series on it. They made the Harrier, which, again, I really, really like. That's the aircraft I fly the most. And they made the F-15E Strike Eagle. They also released the South Atlantic map. So those are the modules that Razbam is responsible for. Sean M81, I think the M2000 fix was in the latest patch, but not documented. Ooh, sneaky. I guess they don't want to put the M2000C by Razbam in the change notes right now. But that'd be great if that's the case. Mr. Yeti, under contract, the developers have to provide ED with a copy of source code every 3 months. But do we know that that's the case for Razbam? Do we know that they ever signed that contract? Because their involvement with DCS predates that new contract. Mike Delta, after 2 years of downtime, Alpenwolf has reopened the Cold War server just in time for the Kiowa. Nice. Tog, I wonder if new laws need to be written for nonsense like this. Shameless plug for Stop Killing Games. Yes, check that out. Stop Killing Games. Wonder if I could talk them into discussing modules like this mess. Stiggy Wiggy, Plus is my all-time favourite jet. Yeah. Orleans Junkie, a lot of KSP2 lovers. Here, I'm one. Andre, I mean you playing the game and show us your flying skills. That's what all my other videos are. This is the one video where I don't do that. I think you need to look at all of the other videos on my channel. This is just the DCS news where I just talk about what's happening in the wonderful world of DCS this week. Exorcist T, I just want the Eurofighter to be done. Oof, I think you're a couple of years out on that one, my old son. But yes, also massively excited for the Typhoon. I will definitely be flying that. Orleans Junkie, yep, poor KSP2. Only Napalm, maybe some will switch to Legacy Falcon if this is not what happens. Well, that's the thing. Falcon 4 BMS is an excellent simulation of the F-16. But in my humble opinion, all of the other modules in Falcon 4 are just F-16s dressed up in different clothes. Yeah, Falcon 4 BMS is an excellent F-16 sim, nothing more. I think you have to go to DCS if you want to fly different modules. Phew. So, anyway, that was me just interacting with chat. I haven't even touched on the Stormbirds article yet. So yeah, if we quickly take a peek at this, I'm not going to read this whole thing to you all because you can read this yourselves. Always check out stormbirds.blog for your DCS news. Also, quick reminder to subscribe, like, and comment if you haven't already done so. It's a really, really big help to me if you do that. I very, very much appreciate it. If you want to further support me, and I'll talk more about it at the end, you can also join Deepak's ground crew for a small monthly fee. Click the join button below if you'd like to do that. So Stormbird's first touches on the refunds, and the main thing I would point out is 9line's comment in the forum. Currently, the standard refund policy is in place, as there are no refunds on any products. That said, we have always taken each individual request into consideration. I have even spoken to some over voice chat and determined a refund makes sense, but the majority of requests will be turned down, just based on our current rules on this. As well, if a refund is granted, it will most certainly be in the form of ED miles. Now, what happens if everything goes south? I can't say for sure. I can guess, but we would make sure to do our very best to either keep the F15E in DCS or make it easier to transfer over to another module, etc. So actually, he's kind of saying that they would make it possible for you to like exchange your F15, maybe. Again, don't hold me to anything right now because I do not know what this would all look like, and I'm looking at a half full cup and a good outcome. Well, that's certainly what I hope for as well, a good outcome. Yeah, Falcon 4 BMS is excellent, so do check it out. But I don't think their other modules are all that good. That's all. So yeah, we were all talking about the Mirage 2000C bug. The fly-by-wire limiter switch was apparently broken in a recent update, but some of you in chat are saying that it has in fact been fixed in the most recent update. If that's the case, that's very, very good news, because I was a bit sad to hear that. And then Stormbirds has his little kind of conclusion at the end. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to read all of this, but yeah, he says it's very uncertain and unclear time right now as we don't know what will happen to Razbam's 5 modules, 4 aircraft and 1 map. So, yeah. In any case, that was Stormbird's take on the whole thing. I think a very, very valuable one, and you should all go and check out the stormbirds.blog website. Dog. One doesn't simply exchange the F-15. Yeah, EU has much better consumer protection. Tier 0 F-15 to Tornado exchange confirmed. That's funny because that's kind of how I was describing to people the F-15E Strike Eagle, is that it's basically just an American Tornado. A bit more modern, of course, but yeah, it does the same job. Very, very similar modules. Ah, yes. Copium, says Tier 0. Here's hoping, like, honestly, really, really honestly, I like Razbam, I like their modules. I hope this gets resolved in both parties' favours and that Razbam can get back to work. I worry about the current state, as I've said. I worry about Razbam's ability to continue given the current situation. But I wish them all the best, and here's hoping. Anyway, that's basically it. I'm gonna give chat a couple of moments to kind of provide their insights and their feelings about this whole situation. Also, feel free to tell me what you think about my decision to unlist my F-15E Strike Eagle videos. I got very mixed responses in the comments, and I do read them all, and I very much appreciate people giving me your feedback about that. Some people were kind of saying that I was... what was it I was called? Someone called me clickbaity. Somebody said that I was doing the wrong thing. There was a lot of people just saying, oh, it's kind of jumping to conclusions. And then some people supported me as well. So I understand the mixed response there. But I stand by my decision. I think I've done the right thing. I don't really want it going out there. Actually, also, if I'm being super, super honest with you, and I like to be honest with chat, the F-15E Strike Eagle tutorial series has been one of the worst performing playlists that I've ever put up. Not very many people were watching those videos anyway, and maybe in a way that made it an easier decision for me that there wasn't really that much income coming from those videos. But it seems that not many people were interested in tutorials on the F-15E Strike Eagle, and I wonder if that's because people were already put off purchasing the module because of this situation. So yeah, the videos were not doing very well anyway, and also I would feel bad if I convinced someone to buy a module that might be going away at some stage. Colin Kelly, I worry about the long-term health of ED and DCS. Yeah, Yeah, this is damaging for sure. This is damaging. Patrick Strandquist, did you have a chance to try the F10 map waypoints on JF17? They do not work. Yeah, that's correct. Actually, I dove into the forums for Deca Ironworks, and they confirmed that the flight plan A and B functionality, they had to remove the F10 map markers while they work out a way of making it possible for you to choose what flight plan those markers are going to go into, because there are now two flight plans. So that's known. That's known. Okay. Yogi, I think content creators like yourself are the voice of the community, so we need you to start applying pressure on ED and Razbam to resolve the situation. Understood. Pink Floyd, I just don't want my F-15E to break. Same. Absolutely. Hoverstop, I won't take any more down payments for Harrier throttles unless I've spoken with the individual to make sure they know the situation and are making the deposit fully informed. Yeah. And I can, I can tell you, Hoverstop, that my order with yourself and my deposit, I'm perfectly happy either way. I want to have a Harrier throttle, whether there's a Harrier in DCS or not. So, yeah, for my part, I'm fully informed and fully okay with the situation. IOU, even ED's Yak 52, which is mostly ignored, it kept working. I like the Yak 52. It's a good aircraft. Nationalize Razbam? Under which nation? Oh, dear. Yeah. Alberto, open source Razbam. Oh, dear. Yep. Anyway, so yes, that's basically all the news we have for this week, but I am going to, as I often do, pimp the VAF, because that's another reason why we're all here. The VAF, or the Virtual Air Force, oh, the Harrier, it hurts me, is a virtual online squadron originally formed by myself and dotChuckles many, many moons ago. It's a virtual online squadron, currently with squadrons for the Harrier, the F-16, the F-18, the F-4, and we have a combined rotary squadron where people can join and fly just about any helicopter that they would like. We're flying every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. UK time, and we're always looking for more pilots, air traffic controllers, mission makers, livery makers, everybody. Everybody is welcome. You'll find the Discord link in the show notes below, and everybody is welcome to join our Discord, whether you fly with us or not. They're a great bunch and a lot of fun to fly with. So, yep, come join the VAF. Oh, click, click, click. There, I'm back. Elon should buy Razbam. Raider, I wasn't impressed with the SA map, so was somewhat weary of Razbam's quality. I actually think it's quite a good map. I rather like it. Yeah, I rather like it. MTG, it's a very good squadron, very welcoming, enjoyed flying for the past 2 weeks. Nice, nice. SA map is different teams under the Razbam name, though. Yeah, I don't exactly understand the layout, but it feels like it's kind of outsourced and just sold by Razbam. Nice. So, please subscribe, like, and comment. And keep in mind that you also have the option of joining DeepHack's ground crew for a small monthly fee, about the same as the cost of a cup of coffee, and it's a really big help to me and to the channel. Big, big shout out to those of you who've already done so and already supporting me. Thank you very much. Autothrust Blue, Byron Farrow, Channel Right, J.R. Walker, Chandler Hedgevald, Griff Nizzle, Mr. Yeti, Bread, Tier Zero, Seanam81, Charts, John Bluer, Tea Kettle Barbecue, Whiskey Dale, Stuart McLean, AB, Mangash, Springer11, Exorcist, B. Denson, Nekonda, Ta Hauster, I'm having trouble with some of these names, Nor, Hammy, Shmoo78, JP Gibbons, Frederick Laystrom, Mike Delta, Pink Floyd, Matt, Fultraver, Clive Parrott, Paul Dillon, Daniel A. Garcia, Ised Pierre, Colin Kelly, Mark S., Jason O., Jacob Sieb, Frantic Stone, Michael, I'm sorry, I'm going to call you Michael, and Osprey. So, thank you all of you for your excellent, excellent support. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you to all of you who interact in the chat and who, hit that like button. Really, honestly, the DCS news is only fun and entertaining because of the interaction with chat. It's because of all of you that this is worth watching. So, thank you very, very much indeed for your support. Mountain Man Simulations, Cola map made by same developer as SA map. Oh, I didn't know that. That's really cool. Excellent. Mr. Yeti. No, Cola is Orbex. Yeah, that was my understanding. Cool. Anyway, I've been DeepHack. Every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. UK time, I make a new tutorial video, or at least normally I do. I've currently paused the F-15E Strike Eagle videos. I'm thinking that I'm either going to jump into the F4 or the Kiowa Warrior, so feel free to communicate with me your preference in that regard, which one of the two you would most like to see. And then that's always followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching right now. Yay! Applause for chat. So yes, thank you all very much for watching. It's been a fun one, and I'm very happy for your interactions. Thank you all very much for watching. Fly safe, and I'll see you all next time. Ta-ta.